You guys, I'm so excited to have Tarsh Bamblett, aka Queen Acknowledgments, on the podcast today. Thank you so much for being here, sis.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to always connect with, women that are doing the thing.
Yes, I'm so excited to have you on. I met you through the sisterhood, and one thing about you, and I was trying to think about what it was before I came on to this podcast episode, but it's a feeling in the Māori culture. We call it like mana or wairua. It's like your strength, your spirit. And that's something that I feel whenever I'm around you. When I see you on the stage doing your acknowledgements, it's this spirit strength. I like the word wairua, um that spirit. It's like, if I could put it in a picture, it's like your ancestors are kind of like walking with you. It's this like this orb, this energy, and every time I see you, I'm like, I need to be around this. Like you, there was something, yeah, that was the thing that made me want to come, to you and get to know you more, and to have you on this podcast as well. So yeah, it's incredible what you have there.
Yeah, I love I love the way the culture translates
Mm,
expression or the feeling, right? Of what it is we're seeing or feeling or hearing. For me, in our household, it'd be something along the lines my family would call like black magic. You know,
mm,
in our culture, First Nations culture, Aboriginal culture, black magic can be used as a term that's like power or medicine or like dark energy, but it's
mm,
also also got the ringtone of like that's black magic, like that's black power,
mm,
that's like your mojo, that's your dharma, that's your purpose, right? And when you say that
mm,
like black magic, you're on the field or the sports or you're doing your thing, you're on the stage, you're singing, performing, whatever it is that you're doing, it's like you're in your power. And the black
oh yeah.
magic is like, that's that's something, that's your flair, that's your swag that no one else got. So I can connect to that culturally, and when I'm in my element, you just you feel it. It feels good, and the abundance of connection, it just brings this wealth. You just feel rich. Like I'm just so
Mm.
enriched with life when I'm doing that, when I'm on that path, when I'm in that moment and presence. So it feels really good to have that recognized from in particular other colored women, cultured women, and women in the space.
Mm, absolutely. I'm like, whenever I see, I'm like, I want that. Like, I want to be like that. I want a bit of that mojo. I love everything, all the words you use there. So beautiful. So I'd love for you to introduce yourself to the podcast, to the people. Who are you? What are you all about? Tell us all the things.
All right, my name's Natasha Nabanunga Bamblett. I'm a Yorta Yorta, Kurnai, Welpri, and Wiradjuri woman, First, Na- First Nations woman, come from the Murray River on the country and live here in Naarm with my family. I'm a mum of two beautiful warriors, sons. I'm a boy mum, um, Jarali Jackamara, Lesh Jackamara, and I'm known as Queen Acknowledgments. And I'm just here to be a change maker. And I'm here bringing my black magic into spaces, touching people, and connecting to their souls and their hearts and their spirits, and just inviting people to walk the journey with me of change and learning from our past as a history, as a collective, as a nation, of the wrongs that have impacted First Nations people and created a division amongst all people that, black and white and people that aren't from this country originally, or that come to this place to source opportunity. And I'm just here to share story. I'm a stand for healing for all people. I come with nothing but love, like really big love, and that's who I am. That's my culture. That's how I've been born and raised, and that's how I will continue to raise my boys in this next generation that's conscious and connected.
I love that. I love that so much. Here you come with the mana as well. It's like that power comes through when you introduce yourself. I would love to know, I feel like our childhood really shapes us into who we are today. And you can really tell somebody from, from knowing about their childhood or where they come from. So I would love for you to share what it was like growing up as young Tash.
There was a duality. There was the best and worst of both worlds. I was raised in a time that I walked with one foot in both, being black, but living in the white world. I grew up in my era with the kids that I shared my childhood with to be almost considered as really privileged. And I recognize that. Firstly, I grew up with both parents in my house. Was it smooth sailing? No. But when the time come for my parents to show up, they did. They were there. And I never missed out on opportunities. I was probably pushed to do the most out of anybody in any given room, in any space, netball, football, sports, school. There wasn't a time that I didn't have an opportunity to have a go, which I'm really thankful to
Mm,
my parents for providing that opportunity. But I also didn't have the luxuries and the privileges of others that allowed me to be comfortable, that allowed me to do what was just required, to hit the standard marks. Being a black woman was almost already like, oh, you're here. Like, you've done a good job because you're Aboriginal.
mm,
It's like the microaggressions of racism, of almost like where your place is and your worth. It was just a constant reminder from everyone around you. And then it was either trying to constantly prove myself to be worthy to be in the same space as predominantly the other white kids, or another woman's daughter, or, that I had the right to be there. And some of those luxuries I didn't have. I had to work hard. I had to do the most. I had to be the hardest. I had to keep going, and that probably took away the comfort of my childhood to be a kid and kind of accept what
mm,
was. My parents were just like, all right, what's next? You can do better. I love you, but you can do better.
mm,
So I had created this internal dialogue that it's not enough. It's not enough. It's not enough. And that's grown into my adulthood that, yeah, I'm doing the thing and I'm achieving great stuff. But also, I have to, like
Mm,
because if I'm not, then where are the other Indigenous children that are coming behind me watching? So, it was tough. It was tough. I didn't have many mirrors growing up that I seen reflections of myself in people that were portrayed in a positive light, that were
mm,
inspiring and motivating. I had almost like a shield of don't say the wrong thing, don't act in a certain way, don't cause too much attention, don't be a threat, don't say something that's going to make somebody else feel uncomfortable. It was almost like I just had to jump and weave in between other people, knowing that the system was created not to accommodate me sometimes.
mm. Yeah.
But I'm here, you know? This is why I do what I do.
Yeah, you're doing the damn thing. How did you overcome that? Like, how do you overcome that? We feel like, um, what's the word? Like, yeah, things you're not accommodated for. You have to work harder, you have to do more. You feel like you're not enough, or you're not in the right space, or people looking at you like you don't belong here. How do you overcome that?
You make your own damn space. You
Oh,
create your own damn group. You pull up your own damn seat. You make your own stage that you're the center of. And when you create the thing, the people will come. And that's what I've done.
mm, that is what you've
It's true.
done. Yeah, absolutely. I love that. I love that. Make your own
It's it.
space. Yeah.
And it's hard and it's lonely and you question yourself. But that's been the best part because I've learned who it is that I am and who it is that I'm not.
Mm,
And my people have shown themselves to me. I know who my people are. And I also know who aren't my people.
mm,
And that's cool too. Mm.
yeah. That's so beautiful. So speaking about creating your own space and your own stage, that's what you do with Queen Acknowledgements. I would love for you to talk more about Queen Acknowledgements, what it is, and how that came about.
Well, like you said, the sisterhood, I believe some amazing things can be revealed within a sisterhood, within a space that you can be seen and that all of you is welcome. And that was my experience. I was intentionally applying myself to spaces that were uncomfortable, that were stretching me, but it was going to reveal who it is that I am and who it is that I want to be moving forward. So, with all of the learning, the self development, it was Erica, another colored woman, that was like, sis, what are you doing? Like you've got the energy, you've got the mojo, you've got, was it the manu?
Mana.
Like
Yeah.
mana, like you've got the mana. Like, that's the language she spoke, and I was like, ooh, I feel it, like it's there. The emotion was there, like she just touched it. That was it. That was it. What she did for me was show me a mirror and the power
Mm,
that I was looking at with the woman looking back at me. That was it. And Queen Acknowledgements was born. And who is Queen Acknowledgements? It's It's the woman, it's the mother, it's the carer, the nurturer, the provider, like the creator, the one that is deep and meaningful and holds honor and respect for the country as our greatest teacher, as our greatest guide. And as a First Nations woman, that is the land of the law. Like that is and forever will be our way of life, the country, the land. And everything comes from that, the language, the people, the traditions, the songlines, the ceremonies. And from there, it's been a journey, like a life journey, 28 years, like a life journey of discovering who it is that I am in the reflection from the country and sharing the deep connection to my culture and to my ancestral wisdom. And the more I sat with that, the more it revealed itself that, whoa, I can be my own damn queen in the way that I show up in this evolution and this evolvement of what culture has been and what is. And Queen Acknowledgements fits perfect that I'm here to acknowledge who it is that I am, where I've come from, this place that's here for all peoples, bringing that to the presence and the forefront of this place that we live, the culture that's come, that's evolved, that's changed, and how to bring change to all Australians that live here and call this place home now or in future or in past, that when we walk on these lands, how can we acknowledge it for the roles that it plays in our life? And that's all I do. I just it's a
That's
part of
all. That's a lot. Yeah.
it's, and it's a part of life. It's not something that I would it's not a job. It's not my job.
Mm,
It's it's my way of life. This is a part of who it is that I am. Acknowledgement of country isn't something that we do at the start of an event or read off a piece of paper or a meeting. Like, no, it's how we move every day. It's how we walk this place. It's how we
mm,
show up for it. It's how we respect it. It's how we share with it. We learn with it. We play with it. It's it's a synergy. It's a relationship. It's what it is. And
mm.
I just share that.
Love that. I love that so much. I was actually just going to ask about, acknowledging country. And what you shared there was, it's more than just reading at the start of a meeting or at the start of a gathering, reading off some piece of paper. It's how you acknowledge the land. It's how it's like who you are in this land. It's more like from what I'm gathering, it's like the meaning, like you're not just doing it to read off a piece of paper. Like you actually want to embody the fact that you're acknowledging the First Nations people of Australia. So
Mm.
I'd love for you to speak on that. Like, why is it so important to acknowledge country? And I'd love for you to touch more on, it's not just reading off a piece of paper. Like, what is it?
Mm.
Yeah.
What is it? Well, it's this. As the listener, I want to take you to the viewer, to a place of understanding, of connecting. And this is what it means to acknowledge country. T. Galinyan Ganya. Nena kakiga yimbena waka. Nena ka yimbena yakrum ja. Dumanya gumika. Dumika ithawaka nita wamandama nimalan. Mumabangara bamini nalan waka. Ganan yakrum ja. Utanada na. Honor the land, the seas, the skies, the plants, the animals, and the people, the interweaving of time, the cycles and the generations. those that have come before, those that have gone to the dreaming, those that are here as our guides, our elders, our teachers, wisdom holders and gatekeepers, our fathers, our mothers, our nurturers, our providers, our children, those that are walking, seeking, finding, and asking, those that are unraveling, learning and unlearning. Here is where the country holds us, taking us on a journey one step at a time, acknowledging who you are, where you come from, and those that have walked these lands before, stripping back to our bare souls as we lay our feet on this ground. May you walk like the ant, lightly, yet touch everything. That is what that's about. And that's why we do it. Whatever that was for you, that journey, that feeling, I can't explain it. Each person has their own journey and connection to it, wherever that place is for you, wherever home is. Country with a C, because country is not just a place. Country is within. And we are a part of it, and it is a part of us. And when we acknowledge that from that place, just imagine the change that can happen in this place. Really honoring the oldest living continuous culture on the planet Earth. How we will get to see each other eye to eye, heart to heart, and have real conversations from learning from the past that have been diminishing, damaging, and disconnecting to our people. Learning from that, and in the present moment, seeing each other to move forward, creating things that our ancestors have been marching and shouting and fighting for.
Mm.
That we get to see a place of peace. And how we're treating this earth will be a reflection of how we're treating ourselves and each other.
Mm.
Acknowledging that.
Oh my gosh, that's so beautiful. Like, I have no words now. No words. But I like so much just came through for me at that moment, because like being in Australia, from New Zealand, obviously when I came over here, I wanted to, pay my respects and acknowledge and do all the right things and stuff like that. And I didn't know, yeah, there was a lot of ignorance, if I'm honest, with what was going on with the First Nations people of Australia. And then getting into it, I was like, I want to be an ally. I want to, help. I want to do all the right things. And, there was this sense of, I don't want to do it the wrong way. I don't want to just read off a piece of paper. I don't want to be disrespectful. I feel like I feel like I connect a lot, coming from where I come from, like being the First Nations people of New Zealand. So I feel like there's a lot of things that I kind of connect to. So it was like, I don't want to do the wrong thing, but I also want to do something. And that's given me so much to now know that, yeah, it is more than reading off a piece of paper. It's, learning more. And I've learned so much since being here, and I can learn so much more. But I feel like that's going to help so many people, not just me, but, the listeners. Because there's no words for it, really. It's so beautiful. So
Yeah.
beautiful.
And that's it. That's it. Like, it's coming from that place, no matter who you are or where you come from. That's what acknowledging country to me as a First Nations woman is about. And we can't do that if we don't acknowledge ourselves. So for you to
Mm,
acknowledge who it is that you are, where you come from, and bringing all of you into it. Speak your
mm,
native tongue, because for me, that's empowering for the language that's have been silenced, that's been suppressed, or the languages that have been forgotten. It's singing them home to that language. It's singing them home to their song. It's singing the country alive to be here with us. It's just taking us back or to a place of remembering. That's it.
mm.
And it takes a collective to do that, not just First Nations people.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I believe this country, over 200 years, has given opportunities to people across the world. The amount of cultures and stories and history and people's purposes and presents and gifts have touched here. That's a part of acknowledging this place and what it gives and what it has given. So bring all of it, of who it is that you are, where you come from, into this present moment, because that's what gives power to the First Nations people here to continue to be called forward and and reclaiming and owning and returning and remembering this place that has been here for thousands of generations.
Mm.
That's pretty special.
So special. So
Mm.
special. I'd love to know, um, yeah, I'd love to know what it's like living as a First Nations person in Australia.
Mm. There is there's a feeling that almost can't be described. It can only be understood from feeling it. It's the walking down the street or in a shopping centre or on public transport when you see another Indigenous person and you do the head nod and you do, hey sis, hey bros, hey aunt. The acknowledgement to, I see you. Because unfortunately, it's been a lot of not seeing myself in
Mm,
the space. It's been a lot of not being seen. Recently, in my awareness with the work that I do, it's almost like the cultural awareness that comes with being black is the looks that are questionable of why you're here. That you have to constantly adapt yourself into spaces to make others feel comfortable. And if you're going to talk about who it is that you are or where you come from, that it can make other people fumble, stutter. That's never my intention, to make anyone feel uncomfortable. but it's almost a political statement just from the color of my skin, just from my cultural identity. And it can sometimes be confusing, scary, questionable, but there's also this power and this strength that to one person, I could be seen as the most disadvantaged person in this country, an Aboriginal woman that comes from the country, tick all the boxes. I was a teen mum, I was a single mum, you name it. Yeah? I probably tick all the boxes of why I shouldn't be here. But on the flip side, I've worked I've walked in two worlds all my life. I have the power of being the bridge. I have the power of being the connector of two worlds. I have the power of communicating with my people in a way that we understand each other, and then the white man's way,
Mm,
the Western way. We say that that's the way of, the Western education, but who's really the educated one if you can only speak one way?
mm,
We're speaking the same words, we're just saying something completely different. And that's a gift. That's a power. That is an advantage of being Indigenous, that we have the deepest connection to this country, come from an ancestral line that is almost unfathomable, which I know in my lifetime I'll only ever touch the surface of my belonging, of who I am and where I come from. But yet I'll have a deep, enriched connection more than some people ever understand. So I have the best of both worlds.
mm. I love
That's
that.
what that's like.
Yeah. I love that outlook that you have. The best of
Yeah.
both worlds. Did I say words? Worlds. Um, I had a question here, and it was like, do you think there's a lack of representation for the First Nations people? But I feel like what we've talked about is like clearly there is. So
Mm.
I'd love to instead ask, what do you think we can do as as allies? Like, what do you think people can do to help the First Nations people um, with the representation?
Mm. Well, for one, if you are a curator or a holder of space, it's making sure that they're taking up space, that they've got a seat at the table, that they've got a voice that's being heard and listened to. And basically, we don't need people to speak for us.
Mm,
We don't need people to you know be front and center for us. We need our people to be seen. So it's shining the light on them, opening the door for them, and amplifying and turning up the voices of those that are speaking. And that's how we, as a collective, are creating equal opportunity by allowing space for the platforms to be filled by First Nations bodies and voices and stories. And sometimes the hardest thing is getting so comfortable with the uncomfortable in us to sit and have their voices be heard without getting offended, without needing to question or to understand, without wanting to personalize or internalize, or without wanting to deflect, or without the sympathy. No, it's just to be in the space with the story, the journey, and just to see that person for as they are.
Mm.
Because we all deserve an opportunity.
Mm.
And that's what this country represents. So First Nations people should be repping that opportunity too. Hmm.
Love that. Thank you. Um, we've spoken about culture so much. And I'd love to know, like, why is culture so important in your eyes?
Because it is the foundations of who we are. Even if we, or if you say you don't have a culture or you don't know your culture, you do though. Your home, you live by culture. How you do things from
Mm.
the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed, you are living and breathing a culture. How you eat, how you gather with family, how you do things for yourself, how you do things with others, it's a culture. And it's just creating more of a conscious culture about how it's serving you and your family or your community or your people that you're impacting or speaking or touching. How is it impacting them in the best possible way that is serving for the greater good? Like, that's culture.
Mm.
And then just have the internal cultures of who we are. Indigenous, Polynesian, Indian, Sweden, like we have English culture and, you know, even different eras have different cultures of how
Mm.
things are being done. Culture is ever evolving. It's a cultural evolution, like in the time of now. It's always going to be different. And that's the beauty of it, that we also can create our own culture or break old cultures,
Mm.
that whatever is here to serve us. Culture is the foundation of who we are, how we are, and why we are.
Yeah, love that. Love that so much. So with Queen Acknowledgments, you do a lot of public speaking at events. I've been so honored to be at a lot of events that you've done. And when you get up and you open and you do your acknowledgement, it's such a beautiful, beautiful thing. And one of the biggest fears in the world is public speaking. But you get on stage and you rock it. Like, I'm always, whenever I watch you, I'm like, how is she not nervous? There is thousands and thousands of people in here. Like, but you just do your thing. So I want to know, have you always been okay with public speaking, or what is going on in your mind at those times?
Yeah, I have. I remember being a young girl and we had like the school concert. And at my school, there was a song we used to sing like every week at the assembly. And I was like, Miss, we should have a dance for it. And we should be singing it and like in front of people. And um, I've always had that nature of performing, the nature of sharing and storytelling. I haven't seen it as scary enough to not want to do it. It's been just scary enough to make me want to do it.
Mm,
Um, and every time I've done it, the ripple effect of what's showing up and activating your voice in what it is that you have to say or to share, life changing. It has brought me more people, more opportunities that have changed my life than I could ever imagine possible. From that 9-year-old girl that got up to do a school dance to now world stages all across the country in front of people from all different walks of life, all different positions. That was that little girl's dream. And
mm.
here I am, dream come true.
Oh, I love that for you. So do you get nervous or
No, I don't. I I've been doing this for 10 years now. Uh, my entire oldest son's life. And it's something about looking at them or thinking of them. I don't ever want them to be so afraid of the world that they don't show up for themselves. I just have a purpose that's greater than me. Me getting up on stage isn't just about me. It's about the other young girls that are watching me that now can say, she's done it, so can I. Of course. My boy to be like, hey, that's my
mm,
mom. And I can do that too. And it's just so empowering to break through every time you step on the stage. I feel like I'm a little bit taller, climbed up one step of that mountain of life that I'm here to get to, and then the other mountain just gets bigger. And I know I'm not just up there on my own.
mm,
Walk up there with my ancestors. Yeah, always with me. So I take a deep breath in, and then when I let it out, I've already done it.
mm.
I want that for everyone,
Yes.
whatever the stage is. Whatever the stage is, it doesn't have to be an actual stage.
Mm,
It can be going for that job, telling that person that you love them,
mm,
leaving a relationship, saying that this is what you want for the first time out loud, saying enough, starting that cook show that you wanted to create,
mm,
starting a book club, starting a youth group. Like the world is your stage. So show up for it. It's waiting for you. That's it.
Oh my goodness. You're getting me fired up. I'm like, yes. Absolutely.
All
All of
right,
that.
let's
All of
go.
that. All of that. Oh my gosh. I love how you said, it's bigger than you. Because it is. It's so much more than you. I'm
Yeah.
taking that with me today. It's bigger than me. Whatever I'm trying to
Mm.
do in this world, it's bigger than me. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Yeah. It's like, get out of your own way.
Mm,
It's not about you.
yes.
And when you think it is, and that's when fear is choking you, it's like, hey, it's bigger than you.
Mm,
It's more than just this moment right now. Yeah.
I love that. I love that so much. This podcast is called Life Lessons with Leash. So I want to know, what's been your biggest lesson in life?
Oof. Biggest lesson in life. Just do it. Cheesy, cliche, but it's just do it. Whatever it is that you want to do, that's for you, just do it. Connection over perfection.
Mm,
Like, if that's what lights you up, do it. And make the mistakes along the way, because, yeah, that's a part of it.
yeah, true. It's a part of the lessons.
Mm. Life is the biggest lesson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it. Just do it. I love that you said connection over perfection. Because sometimes
Yeah.
that's what stops us, right? No, we want it to be perfect. No, it needs to be like this, so then we don't do anything. It's like just do it.
In action. If you feel truly connected and called to it, then that's what you're supposed to do.
Mm,
The perfecting will happen over time, not because of the thing, but because of you will just get better at it.
yeah. I feel like a lot of these things you're saying today is what I needed to hear. I think this podcast is for me. Oh, it's
It's
perfect
for you.
timing. Yeah. There's so much goodness in here. We're actually at the last question, and I love this question so much. I'm not a mother yet, but I can't wait to become a mother. And the question is, if you could teach your kids one thing you didn't have when you were growing up, what would it be?
Hmm. Listen to yourself and speak from the heart. It's it's empowering my kids to be their authentic selves without restriction. and to fucking aim for the stars.
Mm.
No glass ceilings here. No boxes for them. No. I will give them the world. And put it in their own hands. That's it. They choose what they want to do with it.
Mm. I love that. I love that so much. And they've got an amazing role model in you. Your boys, oh my gosh. What's your 10-year-old? What's his name?
Raleigh.
Jirali?
Yeah.
Oh, what a beautiful name. I
Oh, no.
saw, did you guys do something together? And I saw him, he was performing or dancing, and I was like, oh my gosh, he's got like, I feel like he's got that mana, that wairoa as well. It's so beautiful.
He's so humble, yet the aura about him is like
Yeah, the aura, yeah.
he's the warrior. His
Mm,
chest is out and his head is high and his heart is leading him. And that's all I want for my kids. Jirali, he's been given the name Jumbach and Balagan, which means like hero one and smart. He knows where to go. He's always on the move, always comes back with something, always
mm,
comes home with something to give. Uh, and my little ledge, my baby, my burai, he's here to explore the world. He's here to be taken wherever the heart's desire and put his feet on the soils of the world across this country.
mm.
Mm.
Love that. They are both so damn cute.
I know.
Oh
Hurt
my
my.
gosh. I can't even explain how amazing this podcast was. It's like I said, it's the feeling. And when people listen to it, they're going to know what I'm talking about. It's a feeling, it's an aura, it's the mana, it's the wairua. It's been incredible. And like I said, there were moments in there where I feel like this podcast was exactly what I needed to hear in these certain moments. And I want to thank you so much for the work that you do, for being you, for sharing, this black magic, as you say, with me, with sharing all your amazingness with me. It's amazing to see you online and see you doing what you do and walking in your purpose. And there's something like I always, when I see women, I call them wahine to. It's like women of strength,
Mm.
um, idols, people I look up to. And I don't know if you do this too, but I kind of pick things from certain people that I follow, like, oh, I want that from that person, that from like a little bit of, and you're one of the people that I look up to for that, for the mana, for the strength, for the culture that you move with, the way you um the way you talk about things, that black magic. So it's been a huge honor to have you on the podcast, and thank you for sharing all your goodness. Oh, before you go as well, can you share with the people, like, if they wanted to get in touch with you, if they needed you to do an acknowledgement, what's coming up for you? Please share that as well.
Amazing. It's been an honor and privilege to share story and connection and culture and lessons. And I'm excited to where life takes you and the listener on whatever journey is waiting for you to embark on. Um, and as we spoke earlier, it's like be so extra, show up,
Mm,
like be the so extra self,
mm.
um, to live your best life, girl. Because
Yes.
You deserve it. And for people to find me, I am on socials on Instagram, Queen Acknowledgments. Find me on the gram or LinkedIn, Natasha Bamblett, and hit me up, connect with me. I'm doing some amazing conferences that's taking me interstate Queensland, New South
Yes.
Wales. I'm heading up to Arnhem Land and going to put my feet in the soils up on Yolngu country. I'm going to fill my cup because everything that I receive, I can give back. So I'm really looking forward to taking my family on country, um, and taking us back to a place of home, of who we are, where we've come from, you know? So I look forward to seeing you along the journey.
Yes. Thank you, sis.
Thank you.